We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
The lads have got a meeting in the bar, and we've decided it's first-class family entertainment. But if it goes on beyond 10:30, it's self-indulgent. I'm on my own. Don't mind if I join you.
Hello, Birdwood.
Where's Higgs?
I'm standing in.
Where's Higgs?
Every time.
What?
It's as if we only existed one at a time, combining to achieve continuity. I keep space warm for Higgs. My presence defines his absence. His presence denies my absence. Confirms my absence, and his presence precludes mine. When Higgs and I walk down this aisle together to claim our common seat, the oceans will fall into the sky and the trees will hang with fishes.
Where's Higgs?
The sight of me with a complimentary ticket is enough. The streets are impassable tonight, the country is rising and the cry goes up from hill to hill. Where is Higgs? Perhaps he's dead at last, trapped in a lift somewhere. Succumb to amnesia, wandering the land with his turnip stuffed with ticket stubs.
Yes. Well, I didn't bring Myrtle tonight. Not exactly her cup of tea, I thought, tonight.
Overread, you mean?
Well, no. I mean, it's sort of a thriller, isn't it?
Is it?
That's what I heard. Who killed Thing? No one will leave the house?
I suppose so. Underneath.
Underneath? It's a whodunit, man, look at it! Has it started yet?
Yes.
Are you sure?
It's a pause.
You can't start with a pause. If you want my opinion, there's total panic back there. But where is Higgs tonight then?
It will follow me to the grave and become my epitaph. Here lies Moon, the second string. Where's Higgs? Sometimes I dream of revolution. A bloody coup d'etat by the second ranks. Troops of actors slaughtered by their understudies. Magicians sawn in half by indefatigably smiling glamour girls. Cricket teams wiped out by marauding bands of 12 men. I dream of champions being chopped down by rabbit-punching sparring partners while the eternal bridesmaids turn and rape the bridegrooms over the sausage rolls, and parliamentary private secretaries plant bombs in the minister's humber. Comedians die on provincial stages, robbed of their fees by mutely triumphant stooges, and march, an army of assistants, the deputies, the runners-up, the seconds-in-command, the right-hand men, storming the palace gates wherein the second son has already mounted the throne, having committed regicide with a croquet mallet. Stand-ins of the world, stand up! Sometimes I dream of Higgs.
Have a chocolate.
What kind?
Like magic?
No, thanks.
I'll give you a tip then. Watch the girl.
You think she did it?
No. The girl. Watch her.
What girl?
No, you won't know her. I'll give you a nudge.
You know her, do you?
What's that supposed to mean?
Beg pardon?
I'm trying to tip you awake. Give you a nudge as good as a tip. For God's sakes, Moon, what's the matter with you? You could do yourself some good spotting her first time out. She's new from the provinces, going straight to the top. I don't want to put words into your mouth, but a word from us and we could make her.
Suppose you made dozens of them like that?
I'll have you know, I'm a family man, devoted to my homely but good-natured wife. And if you're suggesting a man of my scrupulous morality, falsely besmirched.
Is that her?
For Don't be absurd. We'll be seen dead with the old.
Mrs. Drudge, the help.
This is a radio police message. We interrupt our program. The search still goes on for the escaped madman who's on the loose in Essex.
Essex?
County police, led by Inspector Hound, have received a report that the man has been seen around the marshes of Muldoon Manor. The man is wearing a darkish suit with a lightish shirt. He's of medium height, build, and youngish. Anyone seeing a man answering to this description and acting suspiciously is advised to phone the nearest police station. That is the end of the police message.
So that's what they say about me, is it?
What?
Oh, Moon, I know what goes on behind my back. Sniggers, slanders, or in-corner innuendo. What have you heard?
Nothing.
Tittle-tattle. Tittle, my dear fellow, tattle. I take no notice of it. Sly, envious scandal noise. I can afford to ignore them. I'm a respectable married man.
Incidentally.
Water off duck's back, I assure you.
Who's that lady I saw you with last night?
How dare you! How dare you! Don't you come here with your slimy insinuations. My wife Mercer understands perfectly well that a man of my critical standing is obliged occasionally to make a word of the footlights, simply by way of keeping au fait with the latest.
Sorry.
That a critic of my scrupulous integrity should be vilified and pilloried in the stocks of common gossip. Shh! I've nothing to hide. Why, if this should reach the ears of my beloved Myrtle.
Can I have a chocolate?
What? Oh, yes, my dear fellow. Yes, let's have a chocolate. Which one do you fancy? Cherry, strawberry, coffee cream, Turkish delight?
I'll have Montélimar.
Sorry.
Gooseberry fondue? Pistachio fudge? Hickory nut praline? Chateauneuf du Pape 55 craquenel?
I'm afraid not. Caramel?
Yes, all right.
Thanks very much. Incidentally, old chap, I'd be grateful if you didn't mention. I mean, you know how these misunderstandings get about. The fact is, Myrtle simply doesn't like the theatre.
By the way, congratulations, Birdboot.
What?
At the Theatre Royal, your entire review reproduced in neon.
Oh, that old thing.
You've seen it, of course.
Well, I was passing.
I definitely intend to take a second look once it's settled down.
Well, incidentally, I do happen to have a few color transparencies. I don't know whether you care to.
No, please, please. Love to. Love to. Yes. Yes. Lovely. Awfully sound. It is scale. It is color. It's in the best sense of the word electric. Large as it is, it's a small masterpiece. I urge you to... I think that it must be said that here we have a review that adds to the critical scene. I urge you to make haste to the Theatre Royal, for this is the stuff of life itself. All I ever got was unforgettable on the posters for what was it?
Oh, yes, I know. Was that you? I thought it was Higgs.
Hello, the drawing room of Lady Muldoon's country residence one morning early spring. Hello? The draw... Who? Who did you wish to speak to? I'm afraid there's no one of that name here. This is all very mysterious, and I'm sure it's leading up to something. Oh, I hope nothing's amiss, for we, that is, Lady Muldoon and our house guests are here cut off from the world, including Magnus, the wheelchair-crippled half-brother of Lord Albert Muldoon, who 10 years ago went out for a walk on the cliffs and was never seen again. Oh, and all alone, for they have no children.
Riveted, of course.
But quite sound.
Well, should a stranger enter our midst, which I very much doubt, I will tell him you called. Goodbye.
Hi. Hello there. I'm Simon Gascoigne. I hope you don't mind. The door was open, so I wandered in. I'm a friend of Lady Muldoon, the lady of the house, having met her acquaintance through a mutual friend, Felicity Cunningham, shortly after moving into the neighbourhood just the other day.
I'm Mrs. Drudge. I don't live in, but I pop in on my bicycle when the weather allows in the help of the running of charming though somewhat isolated Muldoon Manor. Judging by the time, you did well to get here before high water cuts us off for more practical purposes of the world.
I took the shortcut over the cliffs and followed one of the old smugglers' paths through the treacherous swamps that surround this strangely inaccessible house.
Yes, many have remarked on the topographical quirk in the local strata whereby there are no roads leading from the manor. though there are ways of getting to it, weather allowing.
Well, I must say it's a lovely day so far.
Ah, yes, but now that the cuckoo bird is in the bud, there'll be a fog before the sun hits Foster Ridge.
I say, it's lovely how you weather people really know weather.
Know weather what?
Yes, it does seem to come on a bit foggy.
Yes, the fog is very treacherous around here. It rolls off the sea without warning, shrouding the cliffs in a dappy mantle of blind man's path.
Yes, I've heard it said.
Oh, I've known whole weekends when this charming old Queen Anne house might have been floating on a pack of ice for all good it would have done phoning the police. It was on such a weekend as this that Lord Albert Morton, who recently brought back his beautiful wife to the home of his ancestors, walked out of this door 10 years ago, and his body was never found.
Yes, indeed. Poor Cynthia.
His name was Albert.
Ah, yes, poor Albert. But tell me, is Lady Muldoon about?
I believe she's playing tennis on the lawn with Felicity Cunningham.
Felicity Cunningham?
Not your friend, I believe you said, a happy chance. I will tell him you are here.
Well, as a matter of fact, I can't stay. Please, don't disturb them. I really should be off.
And they will be disappointed. It is quite some time since we had a 4 for platoon bridge, and I don't play cards myself.
There is another guest, then?
Oh, yes. Major Magnus, the crippled half-brother of Lord Albert Muldoon, who turned up out of the blue from Canada just the other day, completes the house party.
I think I must be waiting for Higgs to die.
What?
Half afraid I'll vanish when he does.
Hello?
I wonder if it's the same for Buckeridge.
Who?
Third string.
You'll stand in.
Does he wait for Higgs and I to write each other's obituary? Does he dream?
To whom did you wish to speak?
What's he like?
Bitter.
There is no one of that name here.
No, I mean as a critic. What's Puckeridge like as a critic?
Nobody knows.
You must have the wrong number.
There's always been me and Higgs.
Simon Gascoigne. It's not him, of course.
What?
I said it's not him.
Who did it? You mean you don't think it's him who did it?
No, my guess is Magnus.
In disguise, you mean?
What?
You think he's Magnus in disguise?
I don't think you're concentrating, Moon.
But I thought you said...
You keep chubbering on about Higgs and Puckeridge. What's the matter with you?
I wonder if they ever talk about me.
Here is another police message. Essex County Police are still searching in vain for the bad man who's at large in the deadly marshes of the coastal region. Inspector Hound, who is masterminding the operation, is not available for comment, but it is widely believed that he has a secret plan. Meanwhile, police and volunteers are combing the swamps with loud hailers shouting, "Don't be a madman, give yourself up." That is the end of the police message.
Oh, yes.
Yes, I should think my name is seldom off Buckeridge's lips. Sad, really. I mean, there's no life at all being a stand-in stand-in.
Yes, yes.
Higgs never gives me a second thought, I can tell by the way he nods.
Revenge, of course.
What?
Jealousy.
Not nonsense. There's nothing personal in it.
The paranoid grudge.
It is merely that it is not enough to wax at another's way. To be on reserve, on hand, on call, to step in, or not at all. The substitute, the near offer, the temporary acting. For I am Moon. Continuous Moon. Moon in my own shoes. Moon in April, June, and September. And no member of the human race keeps warm my bit of space. Yes, I can tell by the way he nods.
The answer lies out there in the swamps.
Oh.
The skeleton in the cupboard is coming home to roost.
Yes. Yeah. Already in the opening stages, we note the classic impact of the catalytic figure, the outsider, plunging through into an ordered world and setting up the disruptions, the shock waves, that will strip these comfortable people, these crustaceans in the rock wall of society, strip them of their shell and leave them as a trembling raw meat, which at heart is all of us. But there's more to it than that.
I agree. Keep your eye on Magnus.
Out!
I say, Birdboot.
That's the one.
You!
Yes. Hello again.
What are you doing here?
Well,
She's... Shh.
no doubt you're surprised to see me.
Honestly, darling, you're really extraordinary.
Yes, well, here I am.
You must have been desperate to see me. I mean, I'm flattered, but couldn't wait till I got back.
There is something you don't know.
What is it?
Look, about the things I said, we both did. It might have been that I got carried away a little.
What are you trying to say?
I love another.
I see.
Oh, I didn't make any promises. I merely...
You don't have to say any more.
Oh, I didn't want to hurt you.
Of all the nerve!
Well,
You philandering coward!
Let me explain.
This is hardly the time and place. You think you can barge in anywhere, whatever happens to
But
you.
I want you to know that my admiration for you is sincere. I don't want you to think I didn't mean all those things I said.
I'll kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne.
Yes, what is it?
I have come to set up the card table, sir.
I don't think I can stay.
Oh, Lady Muldoon will be disappointed.
Does she know I'm here?
Oh, yes, I just told her, and it put her in quite a tizzy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I suppose now that I've cleared the air, quite a tizzy, you say? Really? Really?
Felicity. She's the one.
Oh, nonsense. Red herring.
Oh, I mean it was her.
What was?
The lady I saw you with last night.
Are you suggesting that a man of my scrupulous integrity would trade his pen for a mess of pottage? Simply because in the course of my profession I happen to have struck up an acquaintance. To have, that is, a warm regard, if you like, for a fellow toiler in a vineyard of grease paint, I find it simply intolerable to be pillified and villaried.
I never
To
implied...
find myself the object of uninformed malice, the
I'm
petty slanders of little men.
sorry.
To suggest that my good opinion in a journal of unimpeachable integrity be at the hands and the disposal of the first coquette who gives me what I want. Shh! A ladies' man! Why, Mert and I have been together now for...
Simon!
Christ, who's that?
Cynthia!
Lady Muldoon.
I mean, who is she?
Don't say anything for a moment. Just hold me.
She's beautiful. A vision of eternal grace, a poem.
I think she's got a mouth open.
You can't go on eating like this.
We've nothing to be ashamed of.
But darling, this is madness.
Yes, I'm mad with love for you.
Please remember where we are.
Cynthia, I love you.
Don't. I love Albert.
He's dead. Do you understand me? Albert's dead.
No, I'll never give up hope. Let me go. We're not free.
I don't care. We were meant for each other had we met in time.
You're a cat, Simon. You'll use me and cast me aside like you cast aside so many others.
No, Cynthia, you can make me a better person.
Oh, you're so ruthless, so strong, so cruel.
The son she never had. Stranger transformed into handsome stranger. Youth, vigor, the animal. The athlete is estate, breaking down the barriers at the deepest level of desire.
By Jove, I think you're right. Her mouth is open.
Stop! Can't you see you're making a fool out of
I'll
yourself?
kill anyone who comes between us.
Yes? What is it, Mrs. Dodge?
I've come to close the windows, my lady. The fog is beginning to roll over the sea like death.
Yes, you'd better. It looks as if we're in for one of those days. Are the cards ready?
Yes, my lady.
Could you tell Miss Gunningham we're waiting?
Yes, my lady.
And fetch the major down?
I think he'll be down very soon.
Simon!
You ran under the wheels, never had a chance.
Darling, are you all right?
I have witnesses.
Simon, say something.
I'm most frightfully sorry.
So when have you been a pedestrian?
Ever since I could walk.
Can you walk now? Thank God. Magnus, this is Simon Gascoigne.
What's he doing here?
He just turned up.
Really? How do you like it here?
I could stay forever.
So, you're still here? Of course he's still here. We're going to play cards. Oh, there's no need to introduce you two. Is there? For I now recall that I met you, Simon, through Felicity, our mutual friend. Yes, Simon is an old friend, though not as old as you, Cynthia, dear.
Yes, I haven't seen Felicity since...
Last night. Indeed. Well, Felicity, you dear? Magnus, will you partner Felicity against Simon and me?
Will Simon and you always be partnered against me, Cynthia?
I don't understand what you mean.
You are a damn attractive woman, Cynthia.
Oh, remember Albert!
Albert's dead, Cynthia, and you're still young. I'm sure that you
No,
would
this
have
is
wished
not
that
to
you
be.
and I...
This is not to be.
Gascoigne, isn't it?
Simon, will you have
Kill
a
him
look
if he
at
comes
sofa?
between us.
Simon's for the chop, all right.
start?
I do. No bid.
Simon, did I say you saw Felicity last night?
Yes, quite. Your turn, Felicity.
I've had my turn, haven't I, Simon? Now it seems it's Cynthia's turn. That's my trick, Felicity, dear. I'll have no fury like a woman scorned, Simon.
I've heard it said.
So I hope you've not been cheating, Simon.
No, Felicity. It's just that I hold the cards.
Oh, well done, Simon. Strange how Simon appeared in the neighbourhood from out of nowhere. We know so little about him. Simon.
Yes, sorry.
I'm out. I hear there's a dangerous madman on the loose. Simon!
Yes, sorry.
Yes, personally I think he's been hiding out in a deserted cottage on the cliffs.
Flush!
No, Simon! Your luck's in tonight. We shall see. The night's not over yet, Simon Gascoigne.
So, you're the crippled half-brother of Lord Muldoon who turned up out of Canada just the other day, are you? It's taken you quite a while to get here. What did you do? Walk? Oh, I say, I'm most frightfully sorry.
Do you care for a spin around the rose garden, Cynthia?
No, I have to talk to Simon. Magnus?
My round, I think, Major.
Do you think so?
Yes, Major, I do.
There's an old Canadian proverb handed down from the Blackfoot Indians that says, he who laughs longest.
Yes, I've heard it said.
Well, I think I'll go and hold my gun.
I think Magnus suspects something. And Felicity? Was there something between you and Felicity, Simon?
No, Cynthia. It was a mere passing, fleeting thing we had. It's over between her and me, but now that I've found you...
If I find that you have been untrue to me, if I find that you have falsely seduced me from my dear husband Albert, I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne!
Miserable bastard. Camps it around the old Vic in his opera cloak and passes me the tat.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
It's not that I think I'm a better critic.
I feel my whole life changing.
I am, but it's not that.
Oh, the world will laugh at me, I know.
It's not that they are much in the way of shoes to step into.
Call me an infatuated old fool.
But they are not.
Betray off my class.
He's standing in my light is all.
I don't care, I'm a goner.
An almost continuous eclipse interrupted only by the phenomenon of moonlight.
Yes.
And I dream
The blue angel all over again.
of the day his temperature rises through the top of his head.
Oh, the sweet madness of love.
Of the spasm on the stairs.
Myrtle, farewell.
Dreaming of the stair he'll never reach.
For I only live but once.
Sometimes I dream that I've killed him.
What?
What?
Yes. Yes, a beautiful performance. A collector's piece, I shall say so.
Ah, yes, very promising debut. I'll put in a good word.
It would be as hypocritical of me to withhold praise on the grounds of personal feelings as to withhold censure.
You're right. Courageous.
Oh, I know what people will say. There goes Bird Boot, buttering up his latest.
Ignore them.
But I rise above that. The fact is, I genuinely consider her performance to be one of the summits in a range of contemporary theatre.
Trim-buttered. That's the word for her.
The radiance, the inner sadness.
Does she actually come across with it?
The part as written is a mere cipher, but she manages to make Cynthia a real person.
Cynthia?
And should she, as a result, care to meet me over a drink, simply by her way of thanking me? As
Well, you fickle old bastard!
Are you suggesting that... Yes. Shaping up quite nicely, wouldn't you say?
Yes, yes. Nice trichotomy of forces. One must reserve judgment until the final confrontation, of course, but I think it's pretty clear where we're headed.
Yes, I agree. It's Magnus a mile off.
What's Magnus a mile off?
If we knew that, we wouldn't be here.
Let me at once say that Alain while at the same time avoiding éclat. Having said that, and I think it must be said, I'm bound to ask, does this play know where it's going?
Well, it seems open and shut to me, Moon. Magnus is not what he pretends to be, and he's got his next victim marked down.
Does it, I repeat, declare its affiliation? There are moments when the play, and I would not begrudge at this, when the play, and if we can call it that, and I think on balance we can, aligns itself uncompromisingly on the side of life. Je suis, it seems to be saying, ergo sum. But is that enough? I think we are entitled to ask. For I think that here we are concerned with what I have referred to elsewhere as the nature of identity. I think we are entitled to ask, and here one is irresistibly reminded of Voltaire's cry, voilà! I think we are entitled to ask, where is God?
Who?
God!
God?
I think we are entitled to ask.
The same half an hour later. No, there's no one of that name here. Goodbye. Lady. Miss. Major. Black or white, my lady?
White, please.
White, miss.
White, please.
Black or white, major?
White, please.
Sugar, my lady.
Yes, please.
Sugar, miss.
Yes, please.
Sugar, major.
Yes, please.
Biscuit, my lady.
The second act fails to fulfill the promise.
If you ask me, there's something funny going on.
We interrupt our program for a special police message. The search for the dangerous madman who's on the loose in Essex is now narrowed to the immediate vicinity of Muldoon Manor. Police are hampered by the deadly swamps and the fog, but believe that the madman spent last night in a deserted cottage on the cliffs. The public is advised to stick together and make sure none of their number is missing. That is the end of the police message.
Where's Simon?
Who?
Simon. Have you seen him?
No.
Have you, Magnus?
No.
Oh.
If you ask me, there's something foreboding in the air. It is as if one of us...
Oh, Felicity. The house is locked up tight. No one can get in.
It's just a feeling.
It's only the fog.
And we'll never get through on a day like this.
Fog! He means the inspector.
Is he wearing a dog?
Not that I know of.
Never get through the swamps. Yes. I'm afraid the madman can show his hand in safety now.
What's that?
Sounded like a cry of a gigantic hound.
What a devil.
There it is again. It's right outside the house.
Inspector Hound. A police dog?
Lady Muldoon,
Yes?
I came as soon as I could. Where shall I put my foghorn and my swamp boots?
Oh, Mrs. George will take them out. How very resourceful. Be prepared, as the force's motto has it.
Takes more than a bit of weather to keep a policeman from its duty.
Inspector Hound? Oh. God damn it. Felicity Cunningham?
Good evening.
Major Magnus Muldoon?
Good evening, sir.
Yes?
Well, sorry.
No, do go on.
Thank you. Well, tell me about it in your own words. Take your time, begin at the beginning, and don't leave anything out.
I beg your pardon?
Fear nothing. You're in safe hands now. I hope you haven't touched anything.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
I'm Inspector Hound.
Yes?
What's it all about?
I really have no idea.
How did it begin?
How did what begin?
The thing.
What thing?
The trouble.
What? There isn't any trouble!
Didn't you phone the police?
No! I didn't.
What for?
I see. Well, this puts me in a very difficult position. I'll be getting along then.
I'm
Thank you.
terribly sorry.
Perfectly all right.
Thank you so much for coming.
Not at all. You never know. There might have been a serious matter.
Drink?
More. Thank you. More serious than that.
Drink before you
No,
go.
thank you.
I do hope you find him.
Find who, madam? Out with it.
The lunatic. I thought you were looking for the lunatic.
And what do you know about that?
It was on the radio.
Was it indeed? Well, that's what I'm here about, really. I didn't want to mention it because I didn't know how much you knew. No point in causing unnecessary panic, even with a murderer in our midst.
Murderer, did you say? Whom
So
has
that-
he murdered?
Not on the radio. Perhaps no one yet. Let us hope we are in time.
You believe he's in our midst, Inspector?
I do. If any one of you have recently encountered a youngish, good-looking man in a smart suit, hatless, well-spoken, someone possibly claiming to have just moved into the neighborhood, someone who on the surface seems as sane as you or I, then now is the time to speak. Don't interrupt!
Inspector!
Very well!
No, Felicity!
Please, Lady Cynthia, we're all in this together. I must ask you to put yourself completely in my hands.
But Inspector, I love Albert!
I don't think you quite grasp my meaning.
You believe one of us is in danger, Inspector?
I do. Didn't it strike you as odd that the madman made a beeline for Muldoon Manor? It is my guess that he carries a deep-seated grudge against someone in this very house. Lady Muldoon, where is your husband?
My husband? I don't understand.
I don't know. I just have the feeling that one of you is the real McCoy.
The real what?
William Herbert McCoy, who, as a young man, meeting the madman in the street and being solicited for 6p for a cup of tea, replied, "Why don't you do a decent day's work, you shifty old bag of horse manure?" in Canada all those many years ago, and went on to make his fortune. The madman was a mere boy at the time, but he never forgot that moment, and thenceforth carried in his heart the promise of revenge. Is there anything you're forgotten to tell me?
So the madman has struck! Oh, it's horrible, horrible!
Yes, just as I feared. Now you see the sort of man you're protecting.
I can't believe it!
Cynthia, I'll have to tell him. Inspector, a stranger of that description has indeed appeared in our midst. Simon Gascoigne, oh, he had charm, I'll give you that, and he took me in completely. I'm afraid I made a fool of myself over him, and so did Cynthia.
And where is he now?
He couldn't have gotten away. He must be around the house still.
You're right. Fear not, Lady Muldoon. I shall apprehend the man who killed your husband.
My husband?
Everything points to Gascoigne.
But who's that?
Your husband.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
I tell you it's not!
I'm in charge of this case.
That's not my husband!
Then who is it?
I don't know!
Are you sure?
For goodness sake!
Come on. Anybody?
I've never seen him before.
Unlike anybody I've ever met.
Ah, this case is becoming an utter shambles. the police!
But you are the police!
Thank God I'm here! The lines have been cut!
You mean...
Yes! We're cut off from the world and in grave danger!
You mean...
Yes, I think the killer will strike again!
You mean?
Yes! We're cut off from the world! One of us ordinary mortals, thrown together by fate and cut off from the elements, is the murderer. He must be found. Search the house!
Anyone about? Funny.
This is where Simon gets a job. Ah, there you are.
Inspector! What happened?
He's dead. Rough justice, even for a killer. Unless we assumed that the body could not have been lying there before Simon Gascoigne entered the house. But there is your answer. And now, who killed Simon Gascoigne and why? Why not?
Exactly. Good riddance.
Yes, getting away with murder must be quite easy provided one's motive is sufficiently inscrutable.
Fickle young pup. Was deceiving her left, right, and centre.
Of course, I still have Puckeridge behind me.
She needs someone steadier, more mature.
And if I could, so could he.
Yes, I have a rather good hotel. Very discreet, run by a man of the world.
Uneasy lies the head that wears the crown.
Breakfast served in one's room and no questions asked.
Does Puckeridge dream of me?
Hello, what happened?
What? Oh, yes. What do you make of it so far?
It is at this point that the play for me comes alive. The groundwork has been well and truly laid, and the author has taken the trouble to learn from the masters of the genre. He has created a real situation, and few will doubt his ability to resolve it with a startling renownment. Certainly, that is what it so far lacks, but it has a beginning, a middle, and I have no doubt it will prove to have an end. For this, let us give thanks, and double thanks, for a good, clean show without a trace of smut. But I believe even all this would be for nothing were it not for a performance which I consider to be one of the summits in the range of contemporary theatre. It was possibly the finest Cynthia since the war.
If we examine this closely, and I think close examination is the least tribute this play deserves, I think that we will find within the austere framework of what is seen to be on one level a country house weekend, and such a useful symbol it is, that the author has given us, I will go far, the author has given us the human condition.
More talent in her little finger.
An uncanny ear that might have belonged to a Van Gogh.
It's a public scandal that the birthday and the date have neglected.
Faced as we are with such ubiquitous obliquity, it is hard indeed. And therefore, I will not attempt to refrain from invoking such names as Kafka, Sartre, Shakespeare, St. Paul, Beckett, Burke, Pinero, Pirandello, Dante, and Dorothy Alzheimer.
A rattling good evening out. All's hell.
Harder still. Harder still if possible. Harder still if it is possible to be. Neither do I find it easy. Dante and Dorothy L. Sayers. Harder still.
Others taking part include Moon!
Hello! It's for you.
Yes, hello? Oh, for God's sakes, Myrtle! I've told you never to phone me at work! What? Last night? Good God, woman, this is hardly the time to. I assure you, Myrtle, there is absolutely nothing going on between me and... I took her to dinner simply by way of keeping all fair with the world of the pain and the motley. Yes, I promise. Yes, I do. Yes, I said, I do. And you're mine too, Myrtle. Darling, I can't. I'm not alone. No, she's not! All right. I love your little pink ears. And you're my own fluffy bunny boo. Now, for God's sakes, goodbye, Myrtle!
Out! You!
Yes, hello again.
What are you doing here?
Well,
Honestly, darling, you really are extraordinary.
yes, well, here I am.
You must have been desperate to see me. I mean, I'm flattered, but couldn't wait till I got back.
No, you've got it all wrong.
What is it?
What about last night? Perhaps I gave you the wrong impression, got carried away a bit, perhaps.
What are you trying to say?
I want to call it off.
I see.
I didn't promise anything. And the fact is, I have my reputation. People do talk.
You don't have to say any more.
And my wife, too. I don't know how she got the hair of it, but...
Of all the nerve to Martin Hewan!
I'm sorry you had to find out like this. The fact is, I didn't mean it this way.
You philandering coward!
I'm sorry! But I want you to know that I meant those things I said. Oh yes, she was brilliant, promise I shall say so.
I'll kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne!
Good God.
Bertha! Bertha! What the hell are you doing?
Nothing.
Just come back, sit down.
I know what you're thinking. Yes?
I've come to set up the card table, sir.
I can't stay for a game of cards!
Oh, Lady Muldoon will be disappointed.
You mean she wants to meet me?
Yes, I just told her and it put her in quite a tizzy.
Yes, well, a man of my reputation is not to be sneezed at. I think I have some small name for the making of reputations. Yes. Quite a tizzy, you say, really. Oh, Moon.
Bertha!
Go and sit down. I know what you're thinking, but the fact is, I genuinely consider her performance to be one of the summits in a range of contemporary theatre.
Darling!
Ah, good evening. May I say that I genuinely
Don't say
consider...
anything, just hold me.
Oh, all right. My God, she does have her mouth open. My lady, from the moment I saw you, I felt my...
We can't go on meeting like this. This is mad.
Yes, I am mad with love.
Remember where we are.
I don't care. Let them think what they like. I love you.
I love Albert.
Albert, he's dead. Don't you understand me? Albert's dead.
No. Let me go. We're not free. I'll never give up hope.
You mean Myrtle? She means nothing to me. Nothing. She's all blue, cocoa and blue nylon fur slippers, not a spark.
You're
of...
a cat, Simon. You'll use me and cast me aside like you've cast aside so many others.
No, Cynthia, now that I've found you.
So ruthless, strong, and so cruel.
Have you taken leave of your tiny mind?
Can't you see you're making a fool out of yourself?
She's right!
You stay out of this.
Yes, Mrs. Roach? I've come to close the window, but it's already closed. Yes, that's very well.
Look, they've got your number.
I'll leave on my own time, thank you very much.
This'll be the finish of you. I suppose you know that?
Oh, I don't need your two-penny Grub Street procrastinations. I have found something bigger and finer.
And fetch the Major down? I think he'll be down very soon.
Ah!
Simon!
Reckless bastard! Come on.
Magnus, this is Simon Gascoigne.
What's he doing here?
He just turned up.
Really, how do you like it here?
I couldn't take it night after night.
So, you're still here?
Of course he's still here. We're going to play cards. Oh, there's no need to introduce you two, is there? For I would call that you, Simon, met me through Felicity, our mutual friend.
Yeah, Simon is an old friend.
Yes, well, I like to give young up-and-comers the benefit of my... Of course, she lacks technique as yet.
Last night.
I'm not talking about last night.
Indeed. Well, Felicity, you deal? Simon, will you help me with the sofa?
For God's sake, sit down!
Did you see that? He tried to kill me. I told you it was Magnus.
Who did it, you mean?
What?
You think it's not Magnus who did it?
Get a grip of yourself, Moon! The facts are staring you in the face. He's after Cynthia for one thing.
That's going, isn't it?
Over my dead body!
He comes between us.
For God's sake, sit down!
Simon!
She needs me, Moon. I've got to make her before.
Right. Who starts?
I do. I'll dummy for a no rough bids and double my holding on South Squeak.
Did I hear you say you saw Felicity last night, Simon?
Pay 21, so trump my contract. So soon.
I'll trump your contract with 5 dummy note trumps there, and I'll move West Rook for the rebid on the bank's rough there. Simon?
Would you mind doing that again?
And I'll rough your dummy with 2 note trumps there, and I'll use West Rook for the rebid for the banker there.
And I call your bluff.
No, Simon.
Strange how Simon appeared in the neighborhood from out of nowhere. We know so little about him.
Simon, it's your opening on the minor bid.
Rien n'y va plus. Rouge et noir. Faites voyeux. 0.
I'm out.
I huff.
I rub.
I bluff.
Twist.
Bust.
Turn.
Snap.
How's that?
Not out.
Check.
Double top. Bingo!
No, Simon, your luck's in tonight.
We shall see. Night's not over yet, Simon Gascoigne.
Red herring. Smell a mile off. Oh yes, I've seen it 1,000 times. I've seen you before too, haven't I? Strange, there's something about you.
Care for a spin around the rose garden, Cynthia?
No, Magnus, I must talk to Simon.
There's nothing for you there, you know.
You think so?
Oh yes, she knows which side her bread is buttered. She's not... I'm a man not without a certain influence amongst those who would reap the limelight. She's not going to throw me over for a heavily disguised cripple.
There's an old Canadian proverb.
Oh, don't give me that! I told it to you right from the start. Oh yes, you chaps are not as clever as you think. Sooner or later you make your mistake. Incidentally, where was it I saw you? Because I've definitely...
Well, I think I'll go and hold my gun.
Double bluff! I've seen it 1,000 times.
I think Magnus suspects something. And Felicity. Was there something between you and Felicity?
Oh no, that's all over now. I've merely flattered her a little over a drink. Told her she'd go far, that sort of thing. My God, the fuss that's been made over a simple flirtation.
If I find that you have falsely seduced me from my dear husband Albert, I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne!
Herbert! For God's God's sake, pull yourself together!
I can't help it.
Come and sit down.
But I can't live without her. I'll resign my position, of course. I don't care, McConnor. I tell you.
But Birdwood, think of your family. Think of your friends. Think of your high standing in the world of letters. Birdwood, what are you doing? Birdwood, leave it alone. Come and sit down. What's that? What the hell's the matter with you?
It's Higgs.
What?
It's Higgs!
Don't be silly.
I tell you, it's Higgs. I understand he's dead.
Dead?
Who would want to kill?
You must have been lying there all the time.
Kill Higgs?
And then what was he doing here? I was standing in.
Moon?
But I swear
Moon?
But I didn't!
Got it.
But I swear I didn't!
My God, so that was it. Moon, now I see. Finally, I see it all.
Birdwood!
Inspector! What happened?
He's dead. This is a bit rough, isn't it? A bit extreme. He may have had his faults. I mean, I admit he was a fickle old... But who did this? And why?
To say that it is without pace, point, focus, interest, drama, wit, or originality is to say simply that it does not happen to me by cup of tea. One has only to look at the masters of the genre to see that here we have a trifle that is not my cup of tea at all.
I don't want to be rude, but there's no getting away from it. It lacks pace. It's a complete ragbag.
I will go further. Those of you who were at the Comédie Française on Wednesday last need not be reminded that hysterics are no substitute for éclat.
It lacks élan.
Some of the cast seem to have given up acting altogether, apparently aghast, with every reason, at finding themselves involved in an evening that would, and indeed will, make the angels weep.
I'm not a prude, but I fail to see any reason in the sheer shower of filth foisted on to an unsuspecting public at the guise of modernity at all costs.
Well, Inspector, is this your man?
It's Simon.
Yes. Yes. Yes, poor. Is this some kind of joke?
This is a joke, Inspector. It's in very poor taste.
All right. I'm going to find out who killed him. Everybody go back to the positions they occupied when the shot was fired. No one will leave the house.
I think we all had the opportunity to fire the shot, Inspector.
I am not.
But which of us would want to?
Perhaps you, Major Magnus. Yes, he was on to you. He tumbled to you right from the very start. And just when he was about to reveal that you killed this chap.
But why would I want to kill him? Who is this chap?
I don't know. Quite unlike anybody I've ever met.
Inspector?
Yes, my dear lady, yes, what is it?
Well, happening to enter the room early in the day to close the windows, I chanced to overhear a remark made by the deceased to her ladyship, viz. I will kill anyone who comes between us.
Aha! So that's it then. This chap was killed by Simon!
But he didn't come between us.
Subsequent to that reported remark, I also chanced to overhear a remark made by her ladyship to the deceased in the effect, I will kill you, Simon Gascoigne. I hope you don't mind my mentioning it.
Not at all, not at all. It's from these chance remarks that we in the force build up a complete picture before moving in to make the arrest. And I must warn you, Lady Muldoon, that anything you say...
Yes, I hated Simon Gascoigne for he had him in his power, but I didn't kill him.
Yes.
Prior to that reported remark, I also chanced to overhear a remark made by Felicity Cunningham, no doubt in the heat of the moment, but it's stuck in my mind as these things do. Fizz, I will kill you for this, Simon Gascoigne.
Aha! The final piece of the jigsaw. I am now in a position to reveal the mystery. That man was of course McCoy, the Canadian who, upon meeting Gascoigne in the street, then being solicited for a sixpence for a toffee apple, smacked him across the ear with the cry, "How's that for a grudge to harbour, you sniffing little work-shy?" All this many years ago. Gascoigne bided this time, but tracked McCoy down in due course to this very house, having, on the way, met in the neighborhood a simple, ambitious girl from the provinces. It was charming, persuasive. Told her, I have no doubt, that she would go straight to the top. And she, flattered by his sophistication, taken in by his promise to see her all right on the night, gave in to his simple desires. Perhaps she loved him. We shall never know. But, in her hour of promised triumph, his eyes fell on another. Yes, I refer to Lady Cynthia Muldoon. From the moment he laid eyes on you, there was no other woman for him. He was willing to sacrifice anything, even you, Felicity Cunningham. There was a bitter argument. An argument that ended in a promise from you to kill him. A promise you carried out in this very room at your first opportunity. And I must warn you, anything you say...
But it doesn't make any sense.
Well, not at first glance, perhaps.
Could not Simon have been killed by the same person who killed McCoy?
But why should any of us want to kill a perfect stranger?
Perhaps he was not a stranger to all of us.
But Simon was... He was the right man, wasn't he?
Well, we only have your word for that, Inspector. We only have your word for a lot of things. For instance, McCoy. Who is he? Is his name McCoy? Is there any truth in that fantastical tale of the insult inflicted in the Canadian streets? Or is there something else, something completely different? Suppose, for a moment, that a madman, having killed this unknown stranger for private and inscrutable reasons of his own, was disturbed before he could dispose of the body. So, having cut the telephone wires, he decided to return to the scene of the crime, masquerading as Police Inspector Hound.
But I'm not mad. I'm almost sure I'm not mad.
Only to find that in the house was a man, Simon Gascoigne, who recognized the corpse as a man against whom you had held a deep-seated grudge.
But I didn't kill. I swear I did.
I put it to you. Are you the real Inspector Hound?
You know damn well I'm not.
I
So it
thought as much.
was you.
Stranger in our midst.
The killer.
The madman.
I only dream. Sometimes I dream.
Yes. We had a shrewd suspicion that he would turn up here, and he walked right into the trap.
What trap?
I'm not the real Magnus Muldoon. It was a mere subterfuge. And I now reveal myself as the real Inspector Hound.
Parkeridge!
Stand order. Stop the name of the law.
Parkeridge? You killed Higgs. Birdwood tried to tell me.
I waited a long time for this.
So you are the real Inspector Hound?
Yes. And not only that, I've been leading a double life, at least.
You mean?
Well, it's been 10 long years, but don't you know me?
You mean?
Yes, it's me, Albert, who lost his memory and joined the force, rising by merit to the rank of inspector, his past blotted out, until fate cast him back into this house he left 10 years ago, back to his girlish bride, who he'd left here. In short, darling, my memory has returned. And your long wait is over.
Oh, Albert!
Margaret, you cunning bastard.
Ourselves. I believe it was about an hour. So autographs are available in the corridor. We'll be going out soon, so we'll see you outside in a minute. Wait.
Can I have one really big applause for our director,
Autographs still available. Thank you very much for coming.
There's also an opportunity to talk to the cast members and talk to you, if you want.
Only later.
Only later, apparently.